Did I scare you? Then hit like and subscribe. Now let's begin.
I didn't come here looking for anything strange. I just needed a place to walk, a place where nothing would happen. The village was already there when I arrived. Quiet, evenly lit by lanterns, the kind of place you'd expect to feel safe in. No broken houses, no signs of danger, just paths, doors, and windows glowing softly in the dark. I remember thinking, good, nothing special. That was the first mistake. I started walking without a plan, letting my feet follow the dirt path between the houses. The sound of my steps felt louder than it should have, like the village was listening. No mobs, no movement, just stillness. At first, the silence felt peaceful. Then it started to feel intentional. I passed the first house and glanced through the window. The interior was empty, no furniture, no life, just space. That was odd, but not alarming. Minecraft villages are like that sometimes. I told myself not to overthink it. I kept walking. The lanterns didn't flicker. They never flicker in Minecraft. But something about the way the light felt staged, like everything was placed carefully so I could see, but only what I was allowed to see. I reached the center of the village, a well, a few paths branching off in different directions, more houses, all identical in their quietness. I stopped for a moment and listened. Nothing. That's when I realized something unsettling. There were no ambient sounds, no wind, no distant footsteps, no animals.
Just me. I turned slowly, scanning the village. Every house stood perfectly still, like props waiting for a scene to begin. I laughed under my breath. "This is stupid," I said out loud. My voice sounded wrong. It didn't echo. It didn't fade naturally. It was as if the sound had been absorbed. I waited for something to respond. Nothing did. I continued walking, choosing a random path leading deeper into the village. The houses seemed closer together here, the path narrower. Lanterns hung lower, casting longer shadows. That's when I noticed the doors. They were all closed, every single one. I hadn't paid attention before, but now it felt deliberate. Villages usually have at least one open door, some sign of life. Here, nothing. I stopped in front of one house and stared at the door. For a moment, I considered opening it. I didn't. I don't know why. Something about it felt intrusive, like the door wasn't meant for me. So I walked past it, and that's when I heard it. A sound behind me. Not footsteps, not breathing. A soft wooden creak. I turned around quickly. The door I had just passed was now open. I stared at it, my mind trying to rationalize what I was seeing. Maybe it had always been open. Maybe I'd imagined it, but I knew I hadn't. I stepped closer, peering into the darkness inside the house. The interior looked the same as the others, empty, silent, unfinished. "Hello?" I said. My voice disappeared again. No response. I backed away slowly and continued walking, my pace faster now. I didn't look at the other doors. I didn't want to see if they were opening too. The path curved and led me toward the edge of the village. Or, at least, I thought it did. I walked for longer than I should have. The village should have ended by now, but the houses kept going, repeating in familiar patterns. Same layout, same lantern placement, same quiet emptiness. It felt like I was walking in a loop, but the path never curved back. That's when I noticed something else. The windows. Some of them were lit now. I was sure they hadn't been before. As I passed each house, I felt a strange pressure.
The sensation of being watched, not from behind, but from the sides, from inside. I didn't look. I kept my eyes forward, focusing on the path. My steps grew quicker, then uneven. I wasn't running, but I wanted to. I told myself, this is just a game environment. Nothing here can hurt you. The thought didn't help. I reached another well. The same well. I stopped abruptly. I knew it was the same because of a crack in the stone, a small detail I remembered passing earlier. I had come back to the center. That shouldn't have been possible. I turned slowly, my chest tight. The village looked closer now. The houses seemed to lean inward slightly, like they were listening. I swallowed and spoke again. Is anyone here? For a moment, I thought I heard something. Not a voice, a pause, as if the village itself was deciding whether to answer. Then, from somewhere nearby, I heard a door creak open, then another, then several more. I didn't turn. I didn't want to see how many. I walked. No, I forced myself to walk down a random path, refusing to run. Running would make it real. The sound of doors followed me. Not footsteps, just doors opening, one after another. Always behind me, never ahead. Like the village was waking up. The path narrowed again, and the lantern light grew dimmer. The windows here were all lit now, every single one. I could feel it. Whatever was inside those houses wasn't coming out. It didn't need to. I stopped. The sounds behind me stopped too. The silence returned, heavier than before. I realized something then, something cold and simple. The village wasn't empty. It was waiting, not for me to arrive, for me to notice. I turned slowly. All the doors were open now. Every house, every entrance. Darkness inside each one, deep and unreadable. I stood there for a long time, staring at the open village, my mind screaming for logic, for a reason, for a way out. Nothing happened. No jump scare, no monster, just expectation. Eventually, I turned back the way I thought I had come from. The path was gone. In its place was another row of houses, identical to the rest. I laughed quietly, the sound thin and fragile. I get it, I whispered. You don't need to answer. The lanterns didn't flicker. The village didn't move. But I felt it then, a certainty settling deep inside me. I was no longer walking through the village. The village was letting me walk, and it had no intention of letting me leave.
Did you see them all? Not all of them appear clearly. Tell me how many you noticed.